Prepare to drive across the great state of Alaska on one of the most stunning routes of the last frontier. The journey from Hatcher Pass to Valdez cuts through soaring mountain ranges, past monumental glaciers, over unrelenting mountain passes, and through a truly breathtaking canyon. When it comes to Alaskan road trips, this one is special. Jump aboard with us and let us take you to Valdez. Our journey begins here at Independence Mine and Hatcher Pass. Land of rich history and gold, the sweeping Talkeetna Mountains have been home for 7 incredible days. Now it is time to return to the sea. Our destination is Valdez. Across the vast and formidable Chugach Range, Valdez sits tucked at the uppermost reaches of Prince William Sound, surrounded on all sides by mountains and the sea. To get there, we must cut through some of the most scenic country Alaska has to offer. We're on our way. The mining history of these mountains is fascinating, and gold is still waiting to be found here, both in the hard rock of these peaks and sometimes as flakes and nuggets in the rivers that carve through the range. Rivers like the Little Susitna, who we are now alongside. In contrast to the wide, sprawling, braided rivers of Alaska, rivers like the Little Susitna cut canyons into the landscape, just wide enough to slip a road into. Most who drive this road don't know that it leads right across a major geological fault zone of Alaska. Alaska is home to a complex series of fault zones, as we learned in episodes 9 and 15. One of them is the Castle Mountain Fault, and we are driving across it now. The road levels out as we enter into the broad flatlands of the Matanuska Valley. This fertile valley is the agricultural heart of Alaska, famous for growing giant veggies under the midnight sun. As you know from episode 19, an intriguing history is rooted here, entangled with the Great Depression and the New Deal of the 1930s. We skirt the town of Palmer and make a wide left turn to head straight into the upper Matanuska Valley. We are now on the Glen Highway, who snakes up and into the valley, hugging the Matanuska River. This valley forms the narrow boundary between the Chugach Range to our right and the Talkeetna Mountains to our left, which means no matter which way you look, mountains fill your view. We have brought you here on the Glen Highway before, all the way back in episode 1. Perhaps you remember who reigns supreme in this valley, a force we will call our close neighbor as we camp here for the night. Good morning, Matanuska Glacier. Alaska is home to thousands of glaciers, but only a handful can be seen right from the roadside. Among all of those, Matanuska is the largest. For those who have never seen a glacier before, standing before this river of ice, gazing across its expanse, one really begins to understand and respect the sheer power of glaciers. Matanuska stretches 24 miles long and reaches 4 miles wide at the end, or toe. Ice now melting at the toe was falling as snow during the Revolutionary War. If you're wondering whether people visit the glacier, they do, though only through guided tours. We hope our path will lead us back to Matanuska for that experience before our time in Alaska is up. Only time will tell. The drive from Hatcher Pass to Valdez is really only about 5.5 hours. But when camping spots like this dot the route, you take your sweet time on the journey. It's hard not to pinch yourself when this is your new neighborhood and this today's backyard. The braided Matanuska River snakes and meanders through the valley. The river and the valley share a parent, both created by the Matanuska Glacier, who sits just around the bend. Across the river, the Chugach Mountains rise fearlessly into the sky, as if daring us to cross them, which is, in fact, exactly what we intend to do today. It is a glorious day for a road trip across Alaska. As we weave our way between both mountain ranges, we are actually tracing the path of that Castle Mountain fault system, which closely follows the base of the Talkeetna Mountains to our left. To our right, the Chugach Mountains are an impassable, formidable wall between us and Prince William Sound. We will have to travel east-northeast until a break in the peaks opens, just enough relief in the topography for a road to etch its way up and over into Valdez. If you have yet to visit Alaska, well, it's waiting for you. And if there is one bee we would put into your bonnet, it's to consider traveling this great state in a home on wheels. There's really nothing quite like it. As you've already seen, unbelievably beautiful camping spots abound, as do RV and van rentals. We love this way of travel so much, we made a guide to help you navigate Alaska RV travel. We hope you find it helpful and inspirational. If you need that final nudge to convince you that this is the way to travel, here it is. We are now in the wide and expansive Copper River Valley, which covers a staggering area of 20,000 square miles of south central Alaska. That beast dead ahead is Mount Drum, who is actually not a mountain at all, but rather a volcano. We are staring face to face with the Wrangels, one of the ranges of Alaska that still calls to us, as yet unexplored by these two travelers. We approach one of those rare intersections in Alaska where one main highway meets the next. For such a large state, the major highways are few. Since Palmer, we have been on the Glen Highway, and now we take a right turn onto the Richardson Highway. The Wrangels stretch out to our left, just calling to us. This range has its root in Alaska's volcanic past, and it is home to the second and third highest volcanoes in the United States. To say we are itching to explore this place in the future is quite the understatement. For now, we drive headlong into the Chugach Mountains, having found that break in the peaks that is going to give us our chance to course our way through. Every highway in Alaska is connected to some stage of the state's history, and the Richardson Highway is no different. Spanning 366 miles from Fairbanks to Valdez, it was Alaska's first long-distance highway into the interior. We've been on this highway before, but not this section of it. We've been waiting a long time to finally be here. The thing about Alaska, you never know what interesting history might be lurking around any bend. This is Mount Billy Mitchell, whose namesake is regarded as the father of the United States Air Force. In 1902, Mitchell co-led the construction of a telegraph system connecting the Alaska Territory to Washington, D.C. Later in life, he became a fierce advocate for the establishment of a military branch separate from the Army and the Navy. A key section of the telegraph line ran from Valdez through the Chugach Range and all the way to Fairbanks. This peak was named in Billy Mitchell's honor in 1968. We are now deep within the Chugach Mountains, snaking this way and that through the spine of the range. Our climb up has been gradual. Believe me, it will not be so gradual on the way down. These peaks are actually part of a monumental system of mountain ranges that stretches from here all the way down the entire western edge of North America. This is the Pacific Mountain System, which includes such famous ranges as the Cascades and the Sierra Nevadas, one monumental connected spine with the Chugach at the very top. You can see how the Richardson Highway finds that one little sliver of opportunity through the range. There must have been a very compelling reason to build first a pack trail, then a wagon trail, and finally a full-fledged highway through this formidable landscape. While we ponder this, still steadily climbing higher and higher, once again we see ice ahead. And this time, there's a road leading to it. We decide in that moment, it's time to take another right turn. Worthington Glacier reveals itself like a frozen giant clinging to the mountainside. Like Matanuska, it is one of the handful of glaciers in Alaska that you can drive right up to. Worthington stretches 4 miles back into the range and was designated a National Natural Landmark in 1968. Every winter, it is blanketed in thick snow, so much that you might not even realize it is here. Its presence is revealed with the coming of spring, summer, and fall. In the not-too-distant future, Worthington will once again be blanketed in white, blending right back in with its mountainous home. If there's one thing we've learned from all our time in this state, it's that weather can change on a dime. In the short time we take to eat lunch in the bus, the sunshine disappears and we suddenly find ourselves in the midst of a rain cloud. But here in Alaska, if you let rain stop you, then you just might miss a great many beautiful experiences. Rain or shine, Worthington Glacier beckons, and so we go.
How's it winter already? Feels like winter.
A brief jaunt on a paved walkway leads to a well-positioned viewing platform. Many enjoy the glacier right from here, which is still a majestic sight. There is a path that leads closer, but full warning is given. Proceed at your own risk. Okay, so I'm gonna step on this rock. That one's fine. And then I'm gonna step on this rock. That one's good. That one's stable. Whoa, stable-ish. And now I can go on this one. And then this one. And then that one and that one. Glaciers are inherently dangerous. Outburst floods happen when pools of water within or at the end of the glacier suddenly release without warning. The toe of a glacier can calve, sending massive blocks of ice falling down slope. Rock slides and landslides are fully on the menu as well. We go on this trail with eyes wide open, well aware of the risk, knowing that it is never smart to underestimate the power and unpredictability of glaciers. The sheer amount of water coming off Worthington Glacier is astounding. Hour after hour, day after day, thousands of gallons of water rush off the mountainside. Happy photographer. All around, we see evidence that Worthington Glacier once reached farther than it does today. The bedrock walls are worn smooth like river rocks, scoured into submission by the unrelenting power of ice. Of course, when I gawk at the geology, the photographer among us is fixated on the natural beauty of ice and the fleeting sculpture currently gracing the glacier's terminus. I am a bit nervous to be so close. It's not the ice that concerns me as much as these piles of loosely consolidated rock. This area has been getting a lot of rain lately, and a landslide is not out of the question. I'll be glad when we've seen the glacier and then retreated to a safer zone. We are so grateful for our chance to safely approach and then safely retreat from Worthington Glacier. Yet another striking piece of Alaska's landscape and story that we feel privileged to have witnessed. It's the next day, and we are ready for the final day of our road trip. We are grateful we're not driving in the rain for what comes next. We are now at Thompson Pass, the final obstacle before the descent into Valdez. The climb up here has been gradual. The way down will be anything but. Thompson Pass rises 2,678 feet above sea level. Before us lies the last stretch. Valdez waits just on the other side of that peak. All that's left to do is go down. Descending Thompson Pass in this direction is long and unrelenting, but we have full faith in our bus and her brakes. What awaits at the end of the descent is worth every nerve-wracking inch of the drive. Welcome to Keystone Canyon. We are wholly unprepared for how much this dramatic stretch of highway will take our breath away. There almost aren't words.
I've been acting like a wild man, sleeping like a child. You're so luminous and vibrant. I'm always in bloom for you.
We said it before and we'll say it again. There must have been a compelling reason to forge a path through such rugged terrain. Well, there is a familiar story lying at the root of the Richardson Highway, one we keep hearing over and over here in Alaska. Gold. In the late 1800s, gold rushes in the interior led to the need for an overland route to the mining fields. The Eagle Valdez Trail was first blazed in 1899. That telegraph line that Billy Mitchell helped establish was laid along the trail in 1902. And since then, the route has grown and evolved in response to the needs of the times. At its heart, this road is a vital link between the strategically important port of Valdez and interior Alaska. Whatever its reasons for coming to be, we are just grateful this highway exists because this is incredible. The waterfalls coursing down the mountainsides are mesmerizing. In the winter, they transform into fierce walls of sheer ice. Keystone Canyon is, without a doubt, the climax of the road trip from Hatcher Pass to Valdez. We just take it all in, so grateful to be here.
So many times I've stranded, a castaway on unknown shore, although a stranger in this continent, I'm always in bloom for you. Always in bloom, always in bloom for you. Infatuated light, although it hurts me to be with you, I'm always in bloom for you.
A short drive from the canyon, and we finally arrive in the port town of Valdez. Population about 4,000, Valdez is known for its fishing and adventure tourism, and also its strategic role in the transportation and oil industries. We can't wait to get out and explore. As we head to our camp spot, we are a little concerned though. It's looking like a lot more rain is on the way. We arrive at our spot, hearts a bit deflated, but little do we know what we are about to discover upon waking. Sure enough, our entire visit to Valdez is destined to be shrouded in rain. But therein lies the twist of this story. As we set out to call this place home for a little while, determined to explore and do all we can, we realize that perhaps we aren't so unlucky after all. We discover that Valdez in the rain is mesmerizing. We cannot wait to share with you every adventure we lived in Valdez. Next time on Art We There Yet. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a like.
Subscribe to our channel.
Send us a comment below, and for exclusive content and a behind-the-scenes view of the Art We There Yet journey,
Join us on Patreon.
see you over on Patreon.